All right, guys, we'll go ahead and get started with our next session. Up next, so by the way, you're in the Construction Institute track. Thank you guys for coming out this morning. My name is Nolan. I'm the president of the Construction Institute for the Dallas branch, and we are excited to have you here. Now we're going to have Nolan Del Hierro, PE, project manager for the TxDOT Dallas district. Nolan graduated from Texas Tech University and started working for TxDOT in the EA program in 2014. During the rotation, he worked on projects including a couple of US 75 reconstructions in Collin County, State Highway 170 grade separation, and FM 156 reconstruction in Denton. After his rotation, he received his professional engineering license and became the project manager for the State Highway 114 grade separation over US 377 in Roanoke. In 2019, he moved to the alternative delivery section under the Dallas Construction Office, where he worked on the $1.7 billion project I-635 LBJ East Design Build project before becoming the project manager for the $700 million I-35E Phase 2 Design Build project. So today, Nolan's going to discuss that I-35E Phase 2 update, and let's give him our attention.
Good morning. Like she mentioned, my name is Nolan Del Hierro. I'm a transportation engineer for the Department of Transportation, or Texas Department of Transportation. I did graduate from Texas Tech and went straight into the department where I got to be a part of the EA program. I do like that program a lot. I like to talk about it just because being a young engineer and coming in with no experience, I didn't do any kind of internship. It was nice that the department was able to offer that program and get me into design, construction, and operations. And so after that, I did go back into the design group for a year and then went into alternative delivery. Alternative delivery is a bit different than your typical bid builds, but I did enjoy it. Got a lot of experience over on the 635 job before moving to I-35. Today, I will be giving a update, a construction update, kind of just a progress status. In the streak, this is something we like to remind everybody when it comes to Texas roads. Texas has lost at least one person every day on Texas roads since November 7th, 2000. And so that's why safety is our #1 priority. Today is an excellent day to end the streak. So slow down, stay focused, and eliminate distractions. Before I go into the current activities we have going on, I wanted to briefly discuss what this project consists of. It's a 6.5-mile full reconstruction of the existing 6 general purpose lanes to 8 general purpose lanes with auxiliary lanes at the entrance and exit ramps. We are also fully reconstructing the toll lanes through here, but no increased capacity. Full reconstruction of the frontage roads and intersections as well. Here is the present condition of 3 general purpose lanes in each direction and 2 managed lanes. And here you can see what the proposed condition will do. We are going to add capacity in both the general purpose lanes as well as some sections of the frontage roads. The managed lanes, we are adding 2 lanes. It'll be barrier separated 2 lanes in either direction. However, it'll still operate in the reversible condition and operation that it does today. So that's why it's not we're not increasing any capacity. It'll still operate 2 lanes. As mentioned, this project is a design build. I'm assuming you'll know, but it's different than your typical bid build. We have a contract, and there's proposers that will bid, and then we awarded it to Lone Star Constructors back in 2021. Lone Star is a joint venture between Fluor Heavy Civil and Austin Bridge and Road. So the difference is, instead of TxDOT kind of designing it, bidding it out for a contractor, the contract is awarded And Lone Star will then hire their own designers and go. And the first year is about designing, getting utility relocations, and then we will start constructing as we're still kind of designing. So. As construction progresses, the utility relocations are substantially complete, with the remainder being just north of the job, along the northbound frontage road just past PGBT. We have a few telecoms still remaining. We are currently working on bridge work, sub and superstructure throughout the corridor, earthwork, paving, walls, and drainage. We're about to go through some photos and you'll see a lot of bridge substructure and superstructure, as well as paving, gearing up, ready for our a big switch we have coming this spring. So here I wanted to walk through with some aerial photos we took late January of this year. We're beginning at the north end of the job, and we'll travel south. You can see here that we have paved a large section of the proposed southbound general purpose lanes that we plan to move here upcoming in our switch this spring. As we work our way, we finished, this picture on the left is the Sandy Lake intersection. The existing condition, you can see it introduces a curvature through that intersection, which we, with this project, will straighten it out. So it'll be completely perpendicular to 35 after it's all done. And so we've done the deck over the southbound GPs, and then we will shift over to that direct connect you see there. Here is a snapshot of the Luna overpass. We've demoed half of Luna, and we've started some substructure work. We plan to demo the remaining half, as well as start working on the superstructure after our switch in late spring. One thing I'll mention as we're walking through here and coming from 635, it's been nice not to have the cross streets as overpasses. It takes a lot more coordination, and it impacts the traveling public a lot more when you're doing these superstructures on these cross streets. So with Luna being the only overpass, it has been nice. Pictured here is the new proposed Beltline exit ramp southbound that is currently open to traffic today. And then here is the snapshot of Beltline intersection. We actually have put beams now across these spans that went in a few weeks ago. So that's not pictured, but has since been put up. Again, moving south towards Crosby and Valwood, you can see we've gotten a lot of the proposed southbound GPN, as well as the new managed lane entrance ramp. In here, we've had a huge section of southbound general purpose lanes paved. We have traffic on it now, and we're working to finish the deck over Valley View. As you can see, a lot of the work we've done so far is on the southbound side. The way the project was originally set up and how our phasing was, we had a lot more real estate on the southbound side. And so our phasing was to get the new southbound frontage road built, shift the frontage road up, and that alleviated the space to start on the southbound GPs. Once that's done, we will then shift and work our way west to east. Just like any other job, there are some challenges you'll face. So here I wanted to talk about a couple that we've dealt and are dealing with. One, as I mentioned earlier, we just set the beams on Beltline, but that operation was challenging on where we could set up the cranes. I'm not sure if you can see or you can tell from these illustrations up here. But in order to place the beams across the 3 spans, we had to have multiple cranes and move them multiple times. At one point, we actually had to set up the cranes on the elevated section of Beltline. That alone took time during design to prove out the crane loading since it was being on the bridge. Due to the size and position of the cranes and how the trucks had to maneuver to get the beams in, we actually had to completely remove the signals and then reinstall once we were done. So this operation, we started on a Friday night. We completely removed all signalized poles in that location, got the trucks in, got the beams up, and had the signals reinstalled and everything open by the following Saturday morning. So a lot of challenges there. As you can see, we started with 1 crane near the parking lot and 1 on top, shifted over, and then by the end, we actually had 2 cranes on top picking from the main lane and working their way back. Another challenge that has taken a lot of coordination, not only during design, but also will require a lot of coordination during construction and implementation, is that this particular job requires the managed lanes to be open at all times and throughout the duration of construction. Which leads to my next slide, upcoming switches. Pictured here is only a section between Luna and Beltline, but also just kind of gives a representation of where the existing traffic is and where we're trying to get it to switch this spring. So we do have a large switch coming up where we will be taking the traffic on the southbound existing alignment and shifting them up onto the proposed southbound pavement. The reason this correlates with the challenge of keeping the managed lanes open is that this phase had to be broken up into multiple steps. We first shift the 3 lanes of southbound Jeep general purpose lanes to the new pavement, and that allows us to come back and finish out some block out sections to increase the width. The reason we need to increase the width is then the next step would take the managed lanes and put them up on the southbound, the proposed southbound pavement as well. Along with the challenge of phasing around the managed lanes, the coordination is also challenging because it involves 3 parties. It involves the DB contractor, TxDOT, and the toll integrator. And so we have to make sure everyone's on the same page. So when we switch to that new temporary toll gantry, it's working appropriately. One thing we were able to do during design is that currently there was 3 toll zones, and during construction we actually reduced that to 1. So there'll be 1 temporary toll zone just south of Valwood. So that was nice not to have to worry about all the connections and communications to 3 separate toll zones rather than just 1. So. And then once we have the managed lanes up on the southbound general purpose lanes, it frees up the intersection. And as I mentioned before, that proceeds with our phasing. So we start at the west and start working our way to the east. So you can find more project information at Keep It Moving Dallas, and you can keep up to date with our closures and upcoming closures on the 35E phase2.com. Thank you again for your time. I guess I will leave it up. Yes. So right now we are around 50% completed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So at the Beltline program, Beltline was the yes. Yes, sir. I haven't understood how So during phase one, they actually left out leave outs through the deck to allow for phase two, knowing that it would be wide. No. So we still had to put the drill shafts in and everything, but the deck on the belt line actually had some spaces where we could build through. No, it was actually underneath. We had the low. Yes. Fixed price. I do not know. No, sir. Yes. So we have multiple sections. Right now, our main lanes are 13 inches with 6-inch CTB, and then lime treated underneath that with bond breaker, 6 inches of CTB, and then lime treated underneath. And then our frontage roads are around anywhere from 12 to 13 inch with 4 inches of hot mix instead of CTB on the frontage roads. Yes, sir. It's 50%, I believe, right now. Sorry, you can correct me too if I'm wrong, but I believe we are up at 6% concrete and then 50% wrap. Yes, sir. 24 hours. Yes, sir. Yeah. We originally were looking for the weekend starting on Friday and opening by Monday, but we were able to get multiple cranes and that shortened up our duration drastically. So right now it was substantially completed at the end of this year. We are tracking a little behind, but we are ramping up efforts. Yes. Yes, there will be a capital maintenance agreement. I'm sorry? Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. I believe it is, it's 10 years with an option of 15. So it's 5-year cycles with an option to extend to a third. So 15 years total. Yes. Right now, nothing. We did a VRX study of the wall and did not find any kind of detrimental impact. So right now we are strictly just going to rebuild the abutment and then the spans as well. But it was an existing steel bridge span, which it's a little challenging on demoing that since the second span actually spans both the managed lanes and the northbound GPs, whereas in that first span was only the southbound. When we reconstruct, we are actually taking that into a multiple span bridge and it'll be concrete. Yes. Is there going to be another phase one? I don't, not that I'm aware of, no, sir. So ours ends at the Denton County line. We did a small ramp reversal just north of our job, but as far as a complete reconstruction, I don't see it. No.
Here at 10:30, so please feel free to grab some coffee and network until then, or maybe even go ahead.
Thanks.
Hi,
Hey.
I want to introduce myself. I work with WSP.
Okay.
I designed the bridge foundation for a certified phase